I don't know what's in the water down in Florida, but these leaders are done playing. We got sheriffs threatening graveyard service for rioters. DeSantis lighting up the entire Democrat playbook on protest tactics, and protesters literally scattering like roaches at a green light. Watch this through the end because Florida just sent the rest of the country a message loud and clear.
So I'm gonna break it down for you, all right? And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop. You're watching what's taking place out there. You're seeing police officers that are being attacked, being spit on, being put in harm's way just for doing their jobs. You're seeing ICE agents that are being targeted for doing their jobs. And you're seeing obstructionists that are doing all of this, standing in the way of law and order.
Man, Florida basically just literally said, F-A-F-O, you're going to F around and find out. And it's also putting the power back into the citizens. I'll explain that in a minute. But he said graveyard dead. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. If that don't make you think twice, nothing will. But this next clip is where the law backs the talk.
And we also have a policy that if you're driving on one of those streets and a mob comes and surrounds your vehicle and threatens you, you have a right to flee for your safety. And so if you drive off and you hit one of these people, that's their fault for impinging on you. You don't have to sit there and just be a sitting duck and let the mob grab you out of your car and drag you through the streets. You have a right to defend yourself in Florida. And we also have a policy.
You hear that? He says Florida law says you don't have to wait to become a victim. You have the right to escape. And if someone jumps in front of your car, that's basically, they just said, hey, that's on them. That's basically what they said. And if you think that's just political posturing, think again. DeSantis is not bluffing. He's already shown you what's going to happen next.
So, Governor, how are you preparing for these supposedly 75 protests across your state?
Uh-oh.
Our folks are ready at the state level. I mean, I think, as you know, the local police will be the first to respond if anything goes wrong. County sheriffs will be there as well. We have our state law enforcement on standby. They'll be ready to go, whether it's the Highway Patrol, whether it's Florida Department of Law Enforcement. And then we do have National Guard who will be ready. But I got to tell you, we've dealt with this pretty effectively in the past. I mean, one of the things they're doing in Los Angeles, yes, you see the looting, you see all that. They also just take over streets. Look, if you don't have a permit to take over streets, you can't just interrupt traffic. The Hamas people tried to do this when they were doing that a year or so ago. They tried it in Miami. They were kicked off the road in 13 minutes. They tried it in Central Florida. Our Highway Patrol got them out of there in 11 minutes. So you're going to be held accountable. The inmates are not going to run the asylum. So it's a bad decision to try to pull that nonsense in Florida.
Oh, wow. 13 minutes in Miami, 11 in Central Florida. Compare that to the last 6 days of chaos in LA that we've been seeing. Florida is displaying what real leadership looks like. Now, watch what happens when protesters in Florida realize real quick that this ain't California. It ain't no audio to this. Oh, it is audio. It's move. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. I forgot I was supposed to start singing the music when I played the clip, so y'all wouldn't be just sitting there with silence. That's on me. My bad. My bad. But that green light flipped and they were gone. You seen that? Not one slow step. We're going to start calling this the DeSantis effect. But of course, whenever the law starts doing its job, you know someone on TikTok is going to cry about it, y'all.
Please tell me I'm fucking dreaming and I just didn't watch a press conference from Brevard County in Florida where the cops said that the protesters are going to be jailed if they do this. And then if they get near a car, they're going to be ran over. And they're going to be shot if they point a gun at a police. Are you fucking kidding me? First of all, to come out there and talk about your residents that way, you're going to fucking run them down, shoot them? You should be fucking ashamed of yourself. But the funny thing is that if you look at all the protests that have been going on since November, the people who are causing problems are MAGA chuds who are trying to run people over at protests and carry guns, and the cops. So get your shit together.
Oh my gosh, the level of delusion. Letty, look, take a deep breath. Because you mad at the cops, said that they'll defend themselves. You're mad at DeSantis for telling the Floridians that they also have a right to defend themselves from people like you're not upset at all at the chaos that they're causing. I want to read a few of the comments. You aren't invited to my barbecue tomorrow, but in a gesture of good faith, if you need a ride to your, well, I don't know what they say, frothy mouth fellow demonstrators, let me know on what corner they'll be standing. I'll do everything I can to get you there pronto. I'll be the one driving a great, big, beautiful, and heavy red gas guzzler with the Trump flag. Oh, man. But, of course, this post is going to be met with this for sure. Meanwhile, in your same state, this kind of crazy, this is the kind of crazy that is actually happening, y'all. Yeah, this story is just something I found when I was looking up Florida as it relates to this.
Step out. Step out. Turn around, face your car. Take him out. You can't do nothing. Lift the channel 1015. 1823 out.
Oh, I'm finna explain.
Air 1 copy.
So, as random as this clip is, I'm gonna read the caption word for word. Insane. Police have arrested Florida woman Latrice Battle after she allegedly impersonated an ICE agent in order to kidnap her ex-boyfriend's wife at her job. Yeah, so I'm starting to see why that sheriff went ahead and took that stand. I'm just saying. But you mad at the sheriff? Y'all? You know, I'm talking about that woman, my fault, that we just seen prior to this. Nah, man. I think people are done pretending that your ideology makes sense. Here's someone who actually understands what's at stake and breaks it down clean. Shout out to my guy, Jeffrey, man, right here, man.
And we also have a policy that... You're driving on one of those streets and a mob comes and surrounds your vehicle and threatens you, you have a right to flee for your safety. And so if you drive off and you hit one of these people, that's their fault for impinging on you. You don't have to sit there and just be a sitting duck and let the mob grab you out of your car and drag you through the street.
Hold on, wait, my fault, y'all. Is that a microwave?
And let the mob grab you out of your car and drag you through the streets. You have a right to defend yourself in Florida.
Every state should have this right if they don't, especially all the red states. Blue states, But what this does is it does not incentivize people to protest. It doesn't incentivize them to take over highways and block people from driving. If they know they can be hit by this car and that person will walk away without any problems, without getting put in jail, without being arrested, it'll make them think twice about doing it.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it actually protects the citizens of that state or city, wherever they are. Because many of these people will want you to just sit and wait for the protesters. Let them hold you up all day, let them get around your car so they can get in front of you and stop you. Then they can get around your car. Then they can bust your windows out. Then they can harm you. No. I love what Ron DeSantis is saying, and I think all Republican governors and Republican states should have something like this in the law to protect their citizens from lawlessness, or to allow their citizens to protect themselves when put in a dire situation like that. If you guys are blocking a road and protesting and surrounding cars or stopping them from going where they want to go and you get hit by a car, sounds like a you problem. Stay out of the way. You can protest without impinging on other people's freedom of movement.
Facts. Basically, man, he's saying that we're not going to be sitting ducks. You want to protest? Go ahead. Do it the right way. But the second that you start surrounding cars and acting like a mob, all bets are off. And if you're still confused about how things go in Florida, let me hand the mic to this guy right here, y'all.
Why there were no riots in Florida for the ICE protest? Let me tell you. Because in Florida, everybody, every legal person is armed. And when I say armed, some have just one and some have multiple. And we don't play because our sheriffs and our PD officers, they tell you, because in Florida, we have what is called stand your fucking ground law. If you come in my fucking driveway, or if I'm standing somewhere public, in a public spot, and I'm minding my own business, and you come towards me, and if your actions pose as a threat towards me, I'm not gonna wait for your punch. I am legally allowed to use force. And that force can be just either regular force or
lethal.
You already know. That's what every fucking protest I went to yesterday with my truck, my flags, and I was honking. And these people were saying, this is what they were saying. Ice, something they were saying. All I heard was, we want ice cream. Ice. And somebody was playing the song, Ice, baby. Ding, 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 ding. So don't play with fucking Floridas because you're gonna fuck around and you're gonna find out.
It was the thing like that.
In Florida, we don't play. In Florida, we don't wait for you to break into our homes. We shoot through the fucking door, motherfuckers. Oh, and by the way, like Sheriff Grady Judge says, if you loot, we... And by the way, if someone tries to break into your car and say, give me your car, you don't have to give them the car. You use your fucking force. But if you do these same things in a liberal state, for example, California, somebody breaks into your home and you shoot the guy. The cops are gonna arrest you and they're gonna say, why did you arrest a poor guy who came to your home to ask for food? It doesn't fly by in Florida. We mean business. Try it. Try it, motherfuckers. And by the way, our governor in Florida is a real man. Real man. That guy in California, new scum, that thing is somebody's breaking in your home, somebody's breaking in your businesses. Some Indian poor guy's jewelry store got wiped out, Apple store got wiped out, looted, and this guy is blaming the president. Instead of saying, hey, officers, go and get those fuckers. No, this guy is playing the blame game. I don't know who votes them, and that's the reason they have that law where if you go to vote, they don't check your ID, so anybody can vote. And by the way, voting without being a U.S. citizen is a felony. When you find out, you're gonna cry. Anyways, have a great morning.
Shout out to this guy right here. He's calling it. I'm reading the caption. I'll give him that. But if you want to know how they deal with FAFO in Florida, it seems like this is a legal immigrant right here. But this man said, if you Louis, look, I'm not saying Florida's perfect, but I am saying this. The rest of the country might want to take notes after what we just seen. I want y'all to drop a comment. Is Florida going too far? Or is this exactly how you shut down this type of chaos? And if you're tired of the media twisted stories, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll keep breaking them all down with no filter. Y'all be safe. Go check with somebody today. You could be saving their life. Peace.